Welcome back to the Fairy Garden series, where curiosity takes flight. In early spring, when the garden begins to wake from its long winter rest, tiny changes happen quietly beneath the soil. New shoots stretch upward, patterns return, and sometimes, when the sunlight falls just right, something unexpected appears among the ordinary. On a morning brushed with soft gold light, the four fairies wandered toward the clover patch near the stone path. They loved this time of year, when everything felt fresh, and even the smallest leaf held a secret. That was the morning Bella noticed something different, something that did not follow the pattern, and it made her wonder if perhaps luck was not what she thought it was at all. The garden stretched awake beneath a pale green sky. Dew clung to the edges of tiny leaves, and the air smelled like damp earth and new beginnings. Along the curve of the stone path, a wide patch of clover had begun to gather, dozens of slender stems rising together in quiet determination. Each clover held 3 small heart-shaped leaves arranged neatly at the top. 1, 2, 3. Balanced, symmetrical, steady. Bella fluttered low above them, her golden wings catching the morning light. "Look how many," she said cheerfully. Mela stepped gently between the stones. "Clover grows in 3s," she explained. "That shape helps it gather sunlight and stay strong." Christella studied the repeating shapes. "Nature loves patterns," she whispered. Amelia played 3 soft notes that echoed the rhythm below. The fairies knelt close to the clover patch, studying the leaves as they shimmered in the light. Every stem seemed to repeat the same careful design, 3 leaflets branching from a single point, spreading outward like a tiny green fan. Christella opened her watercolor journal and began sketching the shapes in neat rows. "Patterns help us notice how things are built," she said thoughtfully. "When something repeats, we begin to understand it." Mela nodded. "The structure of the plant helps it survive. Each leaf gathers sunlight. Together they make food for the clover." Bella traced the outline of 1 leaf with her finger. "3 feels complete," she murmured. Amelia added 3 matching notes to her melody, steady and sure. But just as Bella began to rise, she froze. "Wait," Bella whispered. Tucked quietly among the sea of green was a clover that looked almost the same, but not quite. Instead of 3 leaves, this one held 4. The fairies leaned closer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bella's eyes widened. "It's lucky," she exclaimed. Mela's expression softened, but she did not rush to agree. "It's different," she said gently, "and sometimes different makes us curious." Christella studied the stem carefully. "Most clovers grow 3 leaves because that is how their structure is designed," she explained. "But once in a while, a small variation happens." "Variation?" Bella repeated. "A tiny change in how the plant grows," Mela said. "Nature experiments sometimes." Bella looked again at the 4-leaf clover, her excitement slowly turning into wonder. Bella hovered so close her wings stirred the dew. "So it's not magic?" she asked, her voice softer now. Mela shook her head kindly. "Not magic, though it may feel magical to find one. Most clovers grow 3 leaves because their seeds carry instructions for that shape. But sometimes, those instructions change just a little." Christella leaned in. "Like a tiny difference in a painting," she said. "The brush moves slightly differently, and the pattern shifts." Amelia lowered her flute and added, "The plant is still a clover. It still gathers sunlight. It still grows." Bella studied the 4th leaf carefully. It wasn't brighter. It wasn't larger. It simply existed. "So it's a small change," she whispered. "Yes," Mela nodded. "A variation." Christella flipped to a clean page in her journal and began sketching rows of clover leaves. 3, 3, 3. Then 1 with 4. She circled it lightly in gold. When we see patterns, she said thoughtfully, we can also see when something doesn't follow the pattern. Mela smiled. Scientists notice patterns in nature. When something changes, they ask why. Bella tilted her head. Why would it change? Sometimes it's the soil. Sometimes it's the seed. Sometimes it's simply how the plant developed, Mela explained. Nature is full of tiny experiments. Amelia played her melody again. 3 notes repeated, then a 4th added softly at the end. The sound felt different, but still beautiful. Bella sat back on the stone path, looking from the 3-leaf clovers to the 4-leaf one. If it's rare, she said slowly, does that mean it's better? The garden grew quiet around them. Even the breeze seemed to pause. Mela answered gently. Rare means uncommon. It does not mean more important. Christella gestured to the wide patch of green. Every clover helps the soil. Every clover feeds the bees. Every clover belongs here. Amelia added, and without all the 3-leaf clovers, we wouldn't even notice the 4th. Bella looked again at the tiny variation. It did not shine brighter than the others. It simply stood among them, different, but part of the whole. Bella leaned forward again, her fingers hovering just above the 4-leaf clover. People pick them, she said. They press them in books. They carry them in pockets. The idea sparkled in her mind. A treasure found, a rare prize discovered. Mela watched her carefully. And what happens to the clover when it's picked? She asked softly. Bella paused. Christella closed her journal. It stops growing, she answered gently. It can no longer gather sunlight. Amelia added a slow, thoughtful note to the air. Bella's hand lowered slightly. The clover swayed in the breeze, alive and steady, its 4 leaves catching the light like tiny green lanterns. It did not ask to be chosen. It simply continued being what it was. Bella sat back on the warm stone path, folding her hands in her lap. If we leave it, she asked quietly, will anyone else find it? Maybe, Mela replied. Or maybe it will simply keep growing and spreading its seeds. Christella smiled. The garden doesn't measure value by how rare something is. It measures value by how everything works together. Bella looked across the clover patch, dozens and dozens of 3-leaf stems supporting the soil, protecting it, feeding it. Without them, the 4-leaf clover would not stand at all. Amelia's melody shifted again. 3 notes repeated, then a 4th, soft but steady. The music did not compete with itself. It blended. Bella took a slow breath. Maybe the real treasure, she said thoughtfully, is noticing it. Mela nodded. Observation is part of science. We don't always need to take something to understand it. Christella reopened her journal and carefully painted the 4-leaf clover exactly where it grew, surrounded by its 3-leaf neighbors. Amelia played a gentle harmony that wrapped around the quiet garden. Bella smiled at the tiny plant. It did not glow. It did not sparkle. It simply existed in its small variation, and somehow, that felt more special than carrying it away. The sun climbed higher, warming the stones beneath their feet. The clover patch shimmered in soft waves of green, 3 leaves and 4 leaves moving together in the same breeze. Bella lay back on the path and looked up at the sky. I used to think luck meant finding something rare, she admitted quietly. Mela sat beside her. Sometimes we use the word luck when we don't yet understand something, she said. But understanding makes the world feel steadier. Christella added a soft wash of green to her painting. Patterns show us how things are meant to grow, she said. Variation reminds us that growth isn't always identical. Amelia's melody wove through the air like sunlight through leaves. Nothing in the garden felt accidental. Bella turned back toward the four-leaf clover one more time. It didn't choose to be different, she said thoughtfully. No, Mela agreed. It simply grew the way it grew. And the others didn't choose to have three, Christella added gently. Amelia nodded. Every plant carries instructions inside its seed. Sometimes those instructions change just a little. Bella traced the shape of the leaves in the air with her finger. 3 small hearts, then 4. Different doesn't mean better, she said slowly. It just means different. The clover patch rustled as if in quiet agreement. A small bee drifted lazily from blossom to blossom at the edge of the garden. It did not pause at the 4-leaf clover. It did not skip the 3-leaf ones. It simply moved where it needed to go. Bella watched carefully. The bee doesn't seem to care which one is rare, she said. Because the bee needs the whole garden, Mela replied. Not just one plant. Christella smiled. Ecosystems work together. Everything plays a part. Amelia added 3 soft notes and then a 4th. Not louder, not brighter, just part of the melody. The garden was not built around rarity. It was built around balance. Bella stood slowly and brushed the dust from her skirt. I think we should leave it, she said at last. Mela's eyes shone with quiet pride. Observation, not possession, she said. Christella carefully closed her journal. Now we carry the pattern with us instead. Amelia tucked her flute beneath her arm and let the breeze finish the last of her song. Together, the 4 fairies stepped back from the clover patch. 3 leaves, 4 leaves, all growing in the same soil. The 4-leaf clover did not glow any brighter than the rest, but it did not need to. As they walked along the stone path, Bella glanced back once more. The clover patch shimmered in the afternoon light, steady, patterned, quietly alive. Maybe luck isn't about finding something rare, Bella said softly. Maybe it's about noticing what's already there. Mela smiled. Christella nodded. Amelia played one last gentle chord, and the garden, full of repetition and variation, seemed to hum in agreement. Spring had not brought magic. It had brought growth. And that, the fairies knew, was something far more lasting than luck.